Completion of key upgrade of Eni to Ghana's gas infrastructure, resulting in a significant increase in daily gas supply. Also coming up, Member of Parliament for Bawku Central describes actions of military brutality on civilians in Bawku as unacceptable, including the destruction of a culturally significant status, and Mr. Ayariga is demanding immediate investigations by the military. High Command into the incident. We'll tell you more about that in this bulletin. So the details of these coming up shortly. Hello again, many thanks for joining us. Let's get into the details of these stories. And President John Dramani Mahama has assured members of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee that oil revenues earmarked for his proposed $10 billion Big Push infrastructure initiative will be efficiently disbursed and managed. The President gave the assurance during the courtesy call by the PIAC members to congratulate the President on his recent election victory and discuss matters concerning the management of Ghana's oil revenues.
The PIAC delegation, led by Constantine Kujaji, congratulated President John Dramani Mahama on his recent election victory and discussed strategies for effective management of Ghana's oil resources.
As we speak, there are a lot of programs and reports and other things we have to do that, because of funding, we have not been able to do. So it is our hope that this amendment will be rectified. Apart from our problems, our own problems, we also saw some decline in petroleum production. In fact, we realized that since 2019, there has been a constant decline. We had 71 million barrels in 2019.
President John Dramani Mahama during the visit outlined the government's ambitious plan to invest $10 billion over the next 5 years, allocating $2 billion annually to prioritize infrastructure projects across the country.
Our model of PRMA with the Public Interest Accountability Committee are, models that other countries are looking to emulate. We met the sector in quite deep crisis. There was disillusionment amongst all the investors in the sector. And so our first focus was to reassure them and build confidence again in Ghana's prospects with regards to the upstream.
These projects, he maintains, will target key sectors, including roads, major bridges, education, and health infrastructure, as well as areas vital for boosting productivity in the agriculture sector.
We decided that we'll commit the money to what we call the Big Push, because we have an infrastructure deficit of almost $1.5 billion every year in terms of infrastructure investments, between 1.5 and 2 billion. And so we said, well, we'll implement the Big Push, which will be a $2 billion a year investment in infrastructure for 5 years. And so the intention is to invest $10 billion over 5 years in infrastructure. And that includes both roads and bridges and important infrastructure that are transformational and have a rate of return in terms of tolling and productivity and bringing goods to the market and all that.
He specified that agricultural projects under the Big Push would encompass irrigation schemes, construction of farmer service centers, and support for agribusiness development.
He has emphasized that Africa's call for reparative justice is now a unified demand grounded in historical truth and moral clarity. He was speaking at the 7th African Union Media Coordination Meeting in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. Now, the President stressed the importance of restoring dignity, rights, and well-being to Africans and people of African descent.
And we call upon all nations within and beyond Africa to partner with us in shaping a more just and equitable world for the sons and daughters of the African motherland. Excellencies, Africa's call for reparative justice is no longer a whisper. It is a unified demand grounded in historical truth, moral clarity, and our unwavering commitment to dignity. As we implement the 2025 theme of the year on justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations, we reaffirm our shared resolve to correct the historical wrongs and injustices through restitution, healing, and holistic systemic transformation. We cannot speak of development without identity, or speak of unity without acknowledging the erasure that has fractured our heritage. The great Pan-Africanist Marcus Garvey once said, and I quote, "A people without the knowledge of their past history, their origin and culture, is like a tree without roots." Restitution to the African, therefore, is restoration of our full dignity. It is to speak of history on African terms, of healing deep civilizational wounds, and of restoring to African people our rightful agency in shaping our past, our present, and our future. It is essential for Africa to articulate a unified and compelling narrative for reparations on the global stage. In this regard, we encourage the development of robust partnerships with the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, and advocate for effective execution of the AU-CARICOM joint mechanism, as well as the envisaged African CARICOM Summit that is to be held in early September 2025 in Addis Ababa. It is hoped that the side event-themed high-level panel on reparations, memory, and sovereignty, common African position, and the restoration of heritage resources, which was postponed from being held in the margins of this meeting, will be subsequently convened in the sidelines of the upcoming AU-CARICOM Summit to showcase this timely and all-important issue. It is important to highlight that Ghana and Togo will co-sponsor a high-level event on the margins of the United Nations General Assembly in September 2025 to further bolster efforts achieving the justice and the closure which has eluded us for centuries. We invite all of you to fully participate in this event. As we do more to correct historical wrongs, we're reasserting our full humanity, we're reaffirming our sovereignty, we're reigniting the flame of dignity that has always burned within the African soul. You can count on the support of Ghana in this collaborative agenda for the Africa we all want.
And that was President John Dramani Mahama. Now from that to the New Patriotic Party, and the party has announced a strict ban on all campaign-related materials ahead of its 2025 National Annual Delegate Conference, slated for Saturday, 19th July at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium.
Gentlemen of the media, will guide the New Patriotic Party in this long road of rebuilding focused on our values and principles. There is nothing we can do or achieve without adherence to principles and values. And the New Patriotic Party has been that party of choice for Ghana that is loved only because of our values and our history. On this occasion, we are holding ourselves to reconnect to our roots, go back to the standards that Ghanaians are used to. When you mention the New Patriotic Party, there's that pride, there's that understanding of who we are. We want to exemplify those values and do so very aggressively to reconnect with our roots and with the support of our fellow Ghanaians, knowing that that is the way for Ghana to be able to achieve the development and growth that we seek for our country. And most of you know these values. When you hear the name New Patriotic Party, you know what it is. You know that we are the party of rule of law. That is what motivated our forebears, that in the face of great adversity, faced with the tyranny of the PNDC, fought, they stood, resisted. Eventually, the Fourth Republic was born. And today, or perhaps I should say just last week, you saw the face of tyranny as it was back in the day. And that was just a surface scratch we saw in Ablekuma. There were worse days, but our forebears stood and resisted for their love for the rule of law, their respect for order, and we won. That's how come today we can talk about democracy in this Fourth Republic. Yes, there was some acquiescence from the NDC, the PNDC then, but then the brunt was borne by our forebears to bring about this Fourth Republic. You also know us as the party of individual liberty. We believe that the individual is sacred, that they are endowed with certain rights by God that should not be taken away from them. And so therefore, as a political party, we believe in protecting the rights of individuals. You also know us as a party of private enterprise. We believe in creating opportunity for private enterprise to flourish. That for us is the mechanism to drive growth in Ghana. If growth must occur, the private sector must grow. You've heard, we talk about many, many policies that are designed to drive economic growth from the supply side. You remember, which now today has been cancelled, the One District, One Factory initiative that created in excess of $160,000 employment for Ghanaians. Instead of continuing that pro-growth, pro-industrialization initiative, the NDC, led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, cancelled it. And in place of it, saw way of
So that was Richard Ahiagba, the Director of Communications for the New Patriotic Party. They still watching the news updates here with me, Desmond Okrekudan. So now let's move to the quarters of the Vice President, Professor Jane Nano Poku-Agyeman. She has underscored Ghana's healthcare delivery system. The Vice President was speaking at the inauguration of the Entrance University of Health Sciences, a new institution featuring
Health Minister Kwabena Mintah Kando praised the university as vital steps in addressing Ghana's pressing health challenges.
Across the country, we continue to face significant gaps in human health resources. While progress has been achieved, too many
to the project site is the main Insafo Road, which leads to Boranamwa community, where the Anomabo Fisheries College is located and yet to be constructed. Pavement blocks is seen scattered around, with the contractor on site was some broken down vehicle and a circle diggings in front of the proposed administration block of the facility. Speaking to Nana Kweku Eminsa Hagan, the royal family leader of the community, he maintains that the college is totally neglected by the government.
Oh yeah, okay, for a Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture there. Mama offering Minister of right, Oh, yeah, brand one, but
means for the land giving and help the community with potable water and some basic needs.
Government is committed to implementing programs and policies to champion the delivery of wash services in Ghana. According to him, government is convinced
Position wash services as a key driver of national development. The annual multi-stakeholder dialogue on wash was held and set back for wash services delivery. The Minister for Works and Housing, Kenneth Gilbert Ejay, speaking at the meeting, assured government commitment to promoting wash service delivery.
I wish to pledge the continuous commitment of the Ministry of Works, Housing and Water, and indeed all stakeholders towards a country where no one lives without access to safe and affordable drinking water. Distinguished Chairperson, the delivery of safe drinking water is a top priority of government because we believe that it has multiplier effects on all the sectors of Ghana's economy. So we are looking forward to the active involvement of all stakeholders in the many good initiatives government is introducing to improve access to safely managed drinking water services.
Wash emphasis on the Ministry of Sanitation and
dissolution of the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources and implications for water services delivery, whether it is a positive step or whether it is a setback, a potential setback. And I think that my impression has been very, very, very good. The discussions have gone on very, very well. We have had.
And Claude Mukadi said the conference has been productive to the wash sector.
This has been a very productive meeting with key stakeholders' contributions, including research, including
products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an.
No matter how far you run away, you always come back to where you started.
Tortured, mutilated, fingers cut off. I'll lend you the money. My boss believes in giving players another chance.
You don't know what to do if you don't have the money to pay back. Come and listen to me.
Sir, it's done. Good. 1 week. That's all you got to pay up.
You've been gambling. Again.
Unfortunately, we're still chasing shadows. He's clearing the board to make way for something bigger.
How could you do this to us, God?
Who's there?
I gotta fix this.
world revolves around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Enough of classroom memorization. Science must be practical. That will spark the students' interest in STEM. Science, of course, is the mother of all creation. Starting from creation itself, from the plants to the animals, everything you see is STEM careers drive modern economies. From engineering and medicine to software development and space exploration.
Engineering combines both science and technology to solve various problems around our society. For example, the roads we use, the cars we drive, and the airplanes we use to transport ourselves from one country to the other. What can you do to solve human problems? Come, join us on Quiz Talk, coming soon.
So come to Quiz Talk and then demonstrate your skills and help us with the STEM education.
Hello everyone, you remember this face, right? My name is Nanaya Tanua Boache, a familiar face on Entertainment Review, on Behind the Entertainment News. You can call it a weekly recap on Entertainment Review on Metro Television, but ER Extra brings you the extra Entertainment Review do you need clarity on. What? Let's interact on ER Extra every Saturday on Metro TV Social.
Fifra ye free nyina ye de obedientia de ya fugia ne aduane saasro pintin bi aseda ome de ye di koye mu ne de awie nyina na makuafo modemo mama mu nyina nya bidie nanso mpuntudwo mu aka akiri pa ekwambe ne ebefa so makuafo fifiri ho abanfaso de aban hyehye ne dwumadi ahodo ode brekuafo no bo wote ase Feed Ghana ye den na nkokọ ketenkete so mfaso makuafo nso ye den we nti ne ahyehye dwumadi esunkwa ya to ne akuafo mo ye de bro Original TV and Metro TV so dwumadi beba akwanya ama mpanyimfo anim de ewa abafukaye mu akire wadwen ye je akuafo ha no amane akoji mu aye e de afiri aban mu mpanyimfo ho enimi ni ehia akuafo nyonko samo honto eda joada enwumre nonso kosi ne nonwotwe e Original TV so saanso na da yawada enwumre nonwotwe kosi nonkono e Metro TV so akuafo mo Ghana akuafo abomode na yempene wo.
Akuafo mo is sponsored by ACAP Compost. ACAP Compost comes in 3 varieties: ACAP Compost, ACAP Compost X, ACAP Compost Plus.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana, coming to you live from the Kwabohema studios here at North Range in Accra. My name is Ifwa Ando, and this afternoon we're looking at the chaos and the assaults that marred the Ablekuma North rerun election. The Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, that is CODEO, they have condemned the act of violence and vote buying. There's been a lot of, prattling about this. Some are saying that they're disappointed in the police, they didn't do a good job. Others are saying that we must keep security forces out of politics. Is that going to work, keeping security forces out of politics? That vehicle escorted by some soldiers. We have a man out there who is going to speak to us about what exactly happened on Sunday. But first of all, the maiden edition of the Government Accountability Series has begun. This initiative forms part of efforts to deepen transparency and accountability in governance. Interior Minister Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak spoke at the maiden event of this program. Let's listen to him.
Once again, I'm delighted to join you this morning to share with you and the general public some of the achievements of the Ministry of Interior and its agencies in the course of the year. It is important to note that there are a number of agencies under the Ministry of Interior which have just introduced their heads, so I don't need to go around mentioning the agencies again. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be aware that I also oversee the national security. Therefore, the National Security Secretariat, the National Signal Bureau, and the National Investigative Bureau are all under my purview. Before I proceed, permit me to recognize and commend my colleague, the Minister for Government Communication, Honorable Felix Kwakye Ofosu, and his team for their tireless efforts over the past days to make this event a success. It is my prayer that my statement will promote further and support what they are doing to attain the government communication in support of His Excellency the President Mahama's vision for the security sector of our country. The President's goal for the security sector is to make each and every Ghanaian feel safe. A peaceful and safe Ghana will provide a conducive macroeconomic environment and an environment that will help us to be able to sustain development towards achieving government programs aimed at bolstering the economy and improving the lives of Ghanaians, such as the 24-hour economy program. Ladies and gentlemen, let me note that at the Ministry of Interior, we have privilege to lead the effort of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama towards ensuring maintenance of law and order in the country. This opportunity is therefore for the Ministry of Interior to give an account of the progress made from January 2025 to June 2025. Under the direction of His Excellency the President Dramani Mahama, the Ministry has spearheaded the amendment of the Public Holiday Act to include an extra day for the Eid al-Fitr and restore 1st July as a national holiday, and also remember making sure that 21st September is properly recognized as the Founders' Day, which is the date of birth of our leader and founder of our country, Ghana, His Excellency Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. This additional holiday that the President has done is to promote inclusivity and historical recognition by expanding national recognition of religious and historical observance. This move is geared towards fostering inclusive society within our country. And in the Public Holiday Act also, we shift all holidays that fall within the midweek to the closest either Friday or Monday, creating what we call the bank of holidays. And this is essentially to help the tourism industry and the creative art industry. A number of curfews that we inherited when we came in January, we had about 11 curfews across our country, and we all know what it means to have a curfew in a community, meaning that those communities are not very stable. There's some difficulty and challenges. I'm happy to say that today we have 5 more, and the 5 are Wale, Binduri, Boko, Sampa, and then Nkwanta. This reflects improved security and dialogue and has restored normalcy in previously affected communities. The lifting of curfews in the affected communities has expanded civil liberty and allowed residents to resume daily activities without restriction. Government is still working hand in hand with all stakeholders to ensure that normalcy and peace are restored in the affected areas still under curfew. As you may be aware, the Ministry of Interior offers a number of services to the general public, not only Ghanaians but also foreigners, both inside our country and outside our country. These services include, among many, immigration quota permit, renunciation of Ghanaian citizenship, dual citizenship, right of abode, license of private security organization, permission to import or export explosive, permit to import or export arms and ammunition, permits for key cutting, among others. It is important to note that all these services offered by the ministry are done manually. I am happy to report that the ministry has commenced the digitalization of 16 core ministry functions, including permit and license services. The process mapping has been completed. This intervention, when rolled out latest by the end of this year, is expected to streamline workflow, reduce delay, and enhance public access to services, improve transparency and accountability. In collaboration with the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection and the Ghana Immigration Service, we were able to remove over 2,241 street beggars that have been cleared off our streets and repatriated to their countries. This exercise has resourced public order in urban centers while supporting vulnerable population with humane intervention. We are mapping our strategy that will make sure that we eliminate all these challenges on all our streets, not only in Accra, but across the cities in our country. Furthermore, we have signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Youth Development for security agencies internship, enhancing youth employability while supporting security agencies operations. Interns will be deployed across the police, the prisons, and the fire services. The first batch of these interns will commence training on the 16th of this month. That's just Thursday, from this week Thursday. Similarly, the ministry is in talks with Ministry of Education to sign an MOU, that's Memorandum of Understanding, to enable the prison services to produce 20% of sanitary pad for the free sanitary initiative, to produce 30% of all school furnitures and 30% of all school uniforms that government is giving out. And this we are doing to make sure that our reformative programs within our prisons is changed completely from what we are currently simply doing. I call it warehousing the prisoners, keeping them idle, not too much to do. When it comes to the Ghana Police Service, they've made a notable achievement, including sustained anti-illegal mining operations, halting illegal mining in our forest reserve, stopping illegal mining activities along water banks, ensuring that foreigners are not allowed to operate in small-scale mining within our forests, and then prosecuting persons involved. The services has established a 24-hour economy secretariat at the police headquarters in Accra to provide round-the-clock security for businesses under the government flagship program of 24-hour economy program. This is to ensure that the safe movement, of goods and people and foster economic growth without fear of attack. The Ghana Police Service has also conducted high-impact intelligence-led anti-robbery operations across all regions and have achieved remarkable breakthroughs in major cases, including the murders of mobile money vendors in Kumasi, Koforidua, and Aflao, a robbery and murder at Radiance Filling Station in Pesetia, the murder of 5 victims in Asiyao, and killing of Lebanese national in East Legon, the kidnapping of 2 Ghanaian women in Nigeria, and arrest of long-range robbery suspects. The police hospital in Kumasi has been commissioned and operationalized. That of Tamale is expected to be completed and commissioned hopefully in the 3rd quarter of this year. All these are expanding healthcare services, not only to the police personnel, but to the communities around this facility. In the next 6 months, we will start work on Independent Police Complaint Commission, which will be responsible for promoting confidence in the general public, investigate serious incidents, setting standards, operate independent of the police administration, among others, just to give our citizens the hope and belief that if a police officer misbehaves, he or she will surely be brought to book. And I'm sure you've seen some of the swift actions of the IGP when a police officer slapped a journalist, and the action was very swift. Just to let our officers know, yes, we appreciate what they do. They keep themselves awake whilst we sleep. They sacrifice a lot so that we can feel safe, but they must do all this within the confines of the law so that they don't abuse our citizens in trying to protect them. Ghana Prison Service has implemented juvenile and secondary education initiative, supporting education continuity for juveniles and inmates. The Demongo Correctional Facility has been completed, expanding correctional facilities and reducing overcrowding. I want to take this opportunity once again to thank the Pentecost Church for the great job that they are doing in supporting the Ghana Prison Service. I came to meet a situation where they were at various stages of completion, 5 camp prisons. And this Demongo one that has just been completed makes it the 5th one. And if a church could come to the aid of the Ghana Prison Service this much, I want to take this opportunity to encourage all of us, citizens, individuals, business, corporate organizations, to come to the aid of our security services, especially the prisons, who have huge challenges in managing the about 14,000 inmates that we have, including foreigners that are in there. As you may be aware, the feeding allocation for inmates is pegged at 1 Ghana cedi, 80 pesos, less than 2 cedis, which is woefully inadequate. Some of the things that we are doing to improve the feeding of our inmates is to try to venture deeply into agriculture. And I can report that we have just secured some funding to do 5,000 layer poultry project, and we have also cultivated about 1,654 acres of crops. This initiative is ably supported by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture through the supply of equipment and inputs. The service has also commenced drafting a 24-hour economy proposal, aligning prison operations with national productivity goals. The service has also launched a digital literacy program under the 1 million coders and equipping inmates, officers, and dependents with digital skills. There is an ongoing collaboration with the Youth Employment Agency, just as I mentioned earlier, for prison support staff recruitment to augment human resources need of the service for non-custodial duties. The Ghana Fire Service also woefully under-resourced, but has managed an undesired fire, reducing fire outbreaks and salvaging millions of cedis worth of property. The Ghana National Fire Service responded over this period to over 3,841 fire outbreaks nationwide, salvaging properties and saving many lives, whilst significantly reducing fire-related losses. The service has also conducted 14,234 fire safety inspections, ensuring premises adhere to safety standards. The service has also issued 12,418 fire certificates, including 2,944 renewals, whilst enforcing compliance with fire safety regulations. The service has also trained 5,214 fire volunteers to help reduce bushfire outbreaks in rural areas and supporting food security and environmental protection. The Ghana National Fire Service has also responded swiftly to 851 road traffic collision, rescuing trapped victims and saved numerous lives. In support of the 24-hour economy program, the Ghana National Fire Service instituted the following: 24-hour shift surveillance over all our major markets, and have also mapped out all filling stations nationwide that have flooded, that have the tendency of getting flooded during rainfalls. These measures are to enhance security, prevent fire, minimize the effect of flooding and fire incidents. Health and Safety Fund to meet the health needs of personnel with initial funds of about 200,000 was established during this period between January and this June. So I take this opportunity to appeal to all wishers to support this fund as a boost to the gallant firefighters. The service has also put in place National Safety Award Day every 11th July of the year to award individuals and corporate organizations that meet the high standard of safety protocols. This year, 60 individuals and corporate organizations were awarded. Service has also secured an insurance package for the personnel of the service who will suffer critical injuries and death in line of duties. And this, let me commend the State Insurance Corporation company, SIC, that have collaborated with us, with Ghana Fire Service, to do this. And the package they gave us was simply with 40 cedis insurance cover for a year. They are able to cover our personnel from fire service that when they get injured on the line of duty, they get 50,000 Ghana cedis. If the injury is permanent, they get 100,000. If the unfortunate death, the family also get 100,000. It may be modest, but it's a very good beginning as compared to what we inherited, where when a fire officer goes to work and then inhale bad smoke and fall sick or fall from a height, the person will have to treat himself or herself, then submit the bill to the Minister for Interior to process to Minister of Finance for payment. that sometimes can be very, very frustrating. And I'm very grateful to SIC for what they've been able to do with us. And I hope that they will extend the same to the other services like the police, the prisons, immigration, the others who are constantly risking their life to save, to make sure that all of us feel safe. Ghana Immigration Service, ladies and gentlemen, in line with the 24-hour economy policy, has developed a 24-hour economy policy paper at the Ghana Immigration Service headquarters. As of June 2025, the service has also prosecuted 13 suspects in Accra for human trafficking, illegal entry, and document forgery, whilst deterring breaches and enhancing national security. The service has analyzed 263 document fraud cases, identifying 111 as fraudulent, preventing identity theft and related crime. The Ghana Immigration Service rescued 21 human trafficking victims, intercepted 291 irregular immigrants, and arrested 223 individuals for immigration breaches. Additionally, they have intercepted smuggled goods, including 406 bags of cocoa beans, 1,115 jerry cans, 11 bags of fertilizers, 50 gallons of fuel, with 1 vehicle impounded. The service has also increased interagency collaboration, which has facilitated coordination among agencies for prevention of crime and public safety. The service has removed a total of 1,617 foreigners for various breaches under the Section 20 and 21 of Immigration Act 573. The Narcotics Control Commission has intensified efforts to combat drug trafficking and promote public health. In that regard, the Commission has undertaken the following as of June 2025. Secured 15 district offices across 7 regions, decentralizing operation and improving local enforcement. Seized 1,192 kilograms of cocaine over the period, 90 kilograms of cannabis, and about 17.9 kilograms of goba at Temaport, Kotoka International Airport, Paga Border, and Oyarufa, disrupting major trafficking operations. The Narcotics Control Commission has also conducted 7 drug swoops in Akosombo, Takoradi, Medina, and other areas, reducing street-level drug availability. The NACOC has also operationalized a toll-free line, increasing citizen tip-off and participation. The Commission has also acquired a 100-acre parcel of land at Abuasa, Eastern Region, for a future NACOC training academy with documentation near completion. The National Disaster Management Organization, over the period, has enhanced disaster preparedness and response, protecting lives and livelihood. NADMO has responded to 332 emergencies and conducted 2,268 field assessments. They have verified incidents and mapping risk zones for timely intervention in flood, fire, and collapses. NADMO has also engaged 2,174 communities to develop participatory disaster risk reduction plan, enhancing local ownership and early warning system. Additionally, NADMO has desilted 248 drains channels across various communities, improving water flow in urban areas and reducing flooding during the rainy season. They have also provided relief to over 11,524 disaster victims, distributing food, shelter, and sanitation supplies to meet humanitarian needs promptly. The areas where victims were supported includes a whole bunch of communities ranging from Western region to Northern region to the Volta region to Bono East, Asante, and the like. The National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons has renovated its head office building, providing a better space for staff to function effectively. They have established Student Against Firearm Trafficking Club in Elubo, supporting the fight against armed trafficking in border communities. Over the years, staff of the Commission have been working without a scheme of service. Thankfully, this has been finalized to streamline human resource management. The Commission has hosted the United Nations Organization Drug and Crime planning meeting in Accra and is working towards a joint cross-border strategy against armed trafficking. The National Peace Council has relocated its head office to Roman Ridge from where they were. They were the only island. They were the only person living in the island that gives them so much scare. And when it rains, the place gets flooded. Thankfully, in the last 6 months, they've been relocated to Roman Ridge to a more befitting space where it will help them to improve whatever they are doing there. The Council has inaugurated the Savannah and Ahafo Regional Peace Council, which have expanded regional peace architecture and mediation capacity. They have also established local and community peace committees in conflict-prone areas, particularly across the five regions of the North, despite funding challenges. Additionally, the Council has also worked tirelessly to resolve 429 conflict cases, including 168 chieftaincy disputes, 105 land-related conflict, and 57 ethnic disputes. The Ghana Refugee Board has registered 1,522 new refugees and asylum seekers, primarily from our neighboring country, Burkina Faso, and maintains an accurate database to strengthen security and humanitarian planning whilst maintaining an updated and accurate database. The Ghana Refugee Board has successfully integrated 500 Ivorian refugees and given them indefinite resident permits in collaboration with the United Nations Commission for Human Rights and the Ghana Immigration Service, whilst promoting durable solutions and legal inclusion. The board has launched the Upper West registration campaign, processing an estimated 7,000 Burkinabes who have moved to Ghana for protection and documentation. The Gaming Commission of Ghana has conducted compliance monitoring and investigations whilst enforcing operational standard and regulatory compliance. The Commission has expanded their regional presence by securing 4 regional offices in Ho, Aguna Swedo, Sehuwi and Asante Bekwai, deepening regulatory oversight and bringing service closer to gaming operators and stakeholders. The Commission also conducted 67 routine monitoring exercises, reviewed CCTV footage, and verified 8 inventories. In that regard, 2 illegal casinos have been clamped down in Osu and Tema. They have been imposed with administrative penalties to ensure compliance and protect players. Furthermore, the Commission has engaged the Ghana Revenue Authority and operators to roll out the Gaming Administrative Monitoring System, GAMS, laying the foundation for real-time revenue monitoring as well as improving transparency and regulatory oversight. Additionally, the Commission has initiated a plan for a rehabilitation center in the Asante region to support the program of gamers. National Identification Authority has registered over 18 million Ghanaians, including 190,775 in 2025 alone, and 210,498 foreigners, including 10,290 in 2025, issuing 17,534,360 Ghanaian cards. This has enabled integration with key systems like the Ghana Revenue Authority, the National Health Insurance Scheme, and the SNIT, improving financial inclusion and security. The National Identification Authority has installed security systems, enhancing physical and cyber security infrastructure, and added premium centers to their operation across the country. The National Identification Authority has also cleared 600,000 registration backlog across 292 operational offices whilst addressing public complaints, boosting trust, and enabling access to enable services like banking. This is very, very important because we came to meet a backlog of people that have registered but they didn't have card. And I can report that within the last 6 months, we made sure we had a blank card of over 600,000 to make sure that all this backlog are cleared. And I'm happy to say that if you go to the National Identification Authority headquarters today, you'll marvel, is it the place that people used to come and queue for hours and take man-hours of their work simply because they want to just have their card or renew their card? Because we've introduced a system where we prompt you, we send you a message, and we give you the time to be there. So you come just at the time that you are expected. So you no longer have that long queues that you used to see at the National Identification Authority. And I think this is very commendable to our executive CEO, who is doing so well there. The authority has also piloted an online application and appointment system. That's what I was talking about. And now one of the things that we are trying to do is to have a premium centers across the country where we are partnering private individuals who open, and then that service can be there 24 hours so that you don't need to leave your workplace to go trying to change your card or replace a card or try to reprint a lost card or try to even register and get your card. We are in the process of doing all that. So we call it the Prestige Registration Services, which we are doing with so many others, including Senate, the Ghana Commercial Bank, and 4 private companies in Greater Accra and Asante region, which offer exclusive home office enrollment and extended hours. So you could even call for them to come to your house to do those things for you. But obviously, you have to pay a premium for that. Honorable Minister, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the sector has seen a great deal of change since we assumed office, and accordingly has made some significant gains generally. It is worth noting that His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama is committed to retooling the security services with a 1 billion package that we are very optimistic that we'll begin to see the fruits this year by the grace of God, aiming to enhance operational effectiveness, logistical capacity, and mandate fulfillment of the security agencies, thereby strengthening national security and supporting their critical role. The ministry is keen to seize every opportunity presented to it towards executing its mandate, plans, programs, and ensuring peace and security for the good people of Ghana. I therefore want to appeal to all Ghanaians to continue to cherish this identity and not to do anything to detract from this path we have taken for ourselves and posterity. I want to remind myself and all Ghanaians the provision of the Vigilantism and Related Offences Act 2019, Act 999, that all of us needs to be mindful about the activities of vigilantism. And I can assure you that not my party, not any group will we sit and allow to see the resurgence of vigilantism. I have spoken to the IGP family on all the happenings of Ablekomanov. The videos have been forwarded to him. We've instructed him to act swiftly, bring the perpetrators to book. We are not going to condone whether people within our party or outside our party into going around doing anything untoward. We can assure the public that we will ensure, under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, no such group will be allowed to form. Ladies and gentlemen, peace and security are paramount in the development of any nation. It is therefore our collective responsibility as Ghanaians to actively contribute our quota in ensuring that we live peacefully with each other, regardless of gender, religion, ethnic origin, or economic or social status. On this note, Honorable Minister, I wish to thank you for this opportunity to assure the people of this country that, as a ministry, we shall remain committed to this cause. Once again, I wish to extend my sincere appreciation to you for hosting us and providing us a platform for the ministry to share its programs and achievements.
We shall remain committed to this cause as a ministry. Muntaka Mubarak, Interior Minister there. He's been speaking at the maiden edition of the Accountability Series. He mentioned a number of things, including condemning the violent incidents that marked the parliamentary election in the Ablikuma North constituency. He says all troublemakers will be arrested and punished. He also mentioned over 2,000 street beggars have repatriated to their home countries. He said The move has significantly reduced the presence of beggars on the streets of Accra and other cities across the country. We'll be going on a break, but when we return, Kodea slams police over security failures in the Blekuma North rerun. Dr. Ishmael Norman, security expert, is on standby to speak with us. We'll be right back.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Everything in the world revolves around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Enough of classroom memorization. Science must be practical. That is why the Quiz Talk is bringing Ghana's first ever national STEM quiz. This program will spark the students' interest in STEM. Science, of course, is the mother of all creation. Starting from creation itself, from the plants to the animals, everything you see is STEM careers drive modern economies. From engineering and medicine to software development and space exploration.
Engineering combines both science and technology to solve various problems around our society. For example, the roads we use, the cars we drive, and the airplanes we use to transport ourselves from one country to the other. What can you do to solve human problems? Come, join us on Quiz Talk, coming soon.
So come to Quiz Talk and then demonstrate your skills and help us with the STEM education.
Hello everyone, you remember this face, right? My name is Nanaya Tanua Boache, a familiar face on Entertainment Review. On ER Extra, I'm bringing you the unexpected, the extra, and the undercurrents behind the entertainment news. You can call it a weekly recap on Entertainment Review on Metro Television, but ER Extra brings you the extra you have been waiting for. What part of the interview or news from Entertainment Review do you need clarity on? What did you make of the whole interview? I'll bring you the recap, the highlights, and the unanswered questions on Entertainment Extra. Let's interact on ER Extra every Saturday on Metro TV social handle. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow us on ER Extra. Let's interact.
You're welcome back. This is Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Ifwa Ando. And before we look at the Ablikuma North rerun violence, let's look at another issue, another very disturbing issue, the violent attacks at Boko, where a member of parliament for the area, Mahama Ayariga, has condemned military brutality on civilians. Now, on Sunday, some unknown assailants attacked the vehicle being escorted by soldiers. Let's look at his statement on our video wall now. Mahama Ayariga condemns military brutality in Boko. He says, I condemn in no uncertain terms the unacceptable act of destruction of the statue of the Zugran of the Gusauk traditional area, Asigri Abugrago Azoka II, by some military personnel. I demand an immediate investigation by the senior hierarchy of the military. In the same vein, I also condemn the brutality of the military yesterday, the 13th of July 2025. The violent gun attack by a known youth on the vehicle escorted by soldiers is equally condemned, and further attacks must cease. Mahama Ayariga, Member of Parliament, Majority Leader and Leader of Government Business, Boko Central Constituency. Now, let's go on the telephone and speak with Listowell Akologo. He's a tutor at the Bewa College. Good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining us here on Good Afternoon Ghana. Listowell, I believe you're doing very well.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, and thanks for having me. By His grace, to live in Boku and to see what happened yesterday, and we are alive today, I think it is the grace of God.
It's the grace of God. We thank God for that. Listowell, tell us what exactly happened.
Yes, I was in town.
Sunday, yes.
And I heard that a bus that was being escorted was attacked by some unknown assailants, as you read from the MP's statement. And so when that happened, the military decided to react. And the reaction was what we witnessed yesterday. To be frank with you, I've been here for the past 25 years. I've never witnessed what I witnessed yesterday.
How bad was it? Can you tell us?
On a rampage.
Yeah, Listowell.
Hello.
Yes. Do you know where this vehicle was coming from and where it was headed to? Tell us more about this.
No, I heard that they were escorting some people from Bolga to Boku town. And so as they were approaching town, these guys attacked them. That's what we heard. And so we're thinking that, well, these are military guys escorting. So if any other person attacks them, they will use their professional knowledge to investigate, to arrest the perpetrators, right? But that was not to be. They just had to vent their anger on the whole of Boku town. Shooting and fighting. I mean, they were fighting the community because the gunshots went on for over 4 hours, non-stop, with their machine guns and any other gun that they had. And in fact, they shot at people directly at close range. As I speak to you, yesterday, 3 people were buried. A young lady was shot, and the claim was that he was recording their actions. They went into Boku Technical School and assembled students and beat them up, and in the process, they shot 2, one in the arm, one in the hand. The reason that they were making noise or they were trying to record what they were doing, that they were on a story building trying to record their actions. And you can't believe it. They chased people into their houses, broke down their doors, pulled them out, beat them, broke some legs. Look, they even beat up a Momo vendors. They beat a Momo vendor and took away his cash. And this guy is currently receiving treatment in hospital. People who were just passing by and didn't know about it were arrested and beaten. And so we are wondering, what happened? For over 3 to 4 hours of sporadic shooting across the entire Boku town, and no one was there to say, please, enough is enough. And what about the breaking of shops? What about the statue of Okunaba? The statue is not living. It didn't try to record what you were doing. Why did you vandalize it? Not just vandalizing it, but to set it ablaze. They broke cars, windscreens. These tricycles that were parked around highways were all vandalized. Passenger cars and private cars, a lot of things, a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And the question is that the way to revenge as a professional body? Is that a way to react because you are there to protect lives and property, right? And you are the one killing people at will. So yesterday was a day that a lot of us will remember for a very long time, that the military that are here to protect lives and property took the law into their own hand and misbehaved. And there's no one to tell them, stop.
So you're disappointed in the military. And you also mentioned that you have lived in Bawku for 25 years. You've never seen anything like what you witnessed on Sunday before. We'll talk about that, but you mentioned that 3 people died and have been buried. And these 3 people include, did you say a young girl or a boy?
A young girl died. Her phone was taken from her and she was shot. Another woman and her son were also shot. So they were buried yesterday. And a lot of people are currently receiving treatment at various hospitals in town.
Do we know how many people were injured during this?
Because of the situation, it's difficult to be moving around. So I haven't been able to get the numbers. But a lot of people are really, were really hit. Not that it was stray bullets, just directly they shot at them. And you wonder why they had to do that. Even if you were provoked, as a professional body, you should be able to add some professionalism in your reaction. But now the whole town is quiet. People are scared. Businesses, people have locked their shops. I just went around and I saw that shops are not opened. It is now that people are beginning to come out. And we are told that some high-ranking military officers are coming to see the Zubran. The statue, what was it? Is it that someone sent you to come and disgrace about Kunaba or what? Because the statue doesn't contribute to the attack. What contribution did it add to the attack? Those who attacked you. So it didn't make sense. The havoc that they have caused. I wish that your cameras are here. You can pick the pictures of stores being ransacked. Now, why would you even take money from a vendor? Why would you break into somebody's shop and take some drinks, take other things, carry them away? Are you armed robbers? Or you are just, reacting based on the fact that you were attacked by civilians? Those shops that you broke into, were they the ones who carried the attack? The innocent lives that have been lost, can we retrieve them? It's gone. So what is happening? We don't know. The government has to do something quickly, because if they allow this thing to go unattended to, then the next thing it will be worse. We think that we are not safe under the watch of the military in particular.
Let's talk about your MP's statement. What do you make of it?
Yes, as I said, I have heard the MP's condemnations of issues in Bawku severally. He will say there will be investigations. At the end of it, we see nothing. He will say, there will be thorough. He is calling for a full investigation. We're happy. We hope that he carries it through, because he has said it severally and we didn't see the outcome. Now that he's majority leader and we know he wields some authority, we hope that this particular incident will not go unattended to, that there will be thorough investigation, and those who are culpable, those who are found culpable, those who perpetrated that act of violence and vengeance and vendetta against harmless people, I think they should be brought to book. And there should be compensation, adequate compensation. The vehicles that have been vandalized, I counted more than 20 vehicles that have been vandalized. As for the yellow, countless. They all, they depend on it for their livelihood. And they were just standing by looking for something, their daily bread. Now look at what has happened. You have destroyed their vehicles. Are they to go home and sit down? Already we are in curfew. Already the town is not normal. People are scared to move freely. And so businesses are curtailed. And those who are surviving, you have destroyed their businesses again. What is the intention? So we are asking, people are asking, is it that somebody somewhere has asked them to do this or on their own volition? And the other question is, are they really military personnel? Or is that some other people have infiltrated into their ranks and they use this as an opportunity to act? Or if they are really military men, from the Ghana Armed Forces, what kind of training did they get when they went for the training? Because there was nothing that showed that these are personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces. Mm-hmm. They even got down from their armored cars and they were attacking individuals. Mm-hmm. Anyone on site, was shot at. Mm-hmm. That is why the casualties are many. Mm-hmm. Now, if you are scaring the people because you think that they may come and attack, you fire in the air, is that not it? But to aim at an armless young lady and shoot at her, kill her, and kill the woman, kill the son, and the rest of it, it doesn't make sense. So we are at a loss as to what really they wanted to do. Whether they wanted to eliminate everybody in Bawku, or they were just trying to satisfy somebody somewhere. These are the questions that people are asking.
So how is Bawku right now as I speak with you, and what are the people saying?
Yeah, I noticed that people are in groups discussing the incident, and we're also told that high-ranking officials will come from the Ministry of Defense, Interior, and other top politicians were planning to come to the Zugrana. And so the young men are gathering and hoping that when they come, there will be something positive. There's a demand for an immediate restoration of the statue of the Zugran, because that shows a disrespect to him. His authority has been disrespected. And if they don't do it and anything happens, they should be held responsible. But we don't want anything to happen again. We want peace. I want peace. I don't want a situation where the young men take the law into their hands and try to also attack anybody. So they should come quickly, talk to their men, and then apologize to the Bawku Naba, and immediately take remedials to ensure that the situation does not escalate.
Akologo, teacher at the Kwewa College, thank you very much for speaking with us. You're obviously not happy with what happened on Sunday. Thank you very much for speaking with us. We'll also be speaking with security consultant Richard Kumado. He'll be joining us shortly. He'll also speak about the Ablekuma North rerun violence. But let's once again look at the MP for Bawku's statement. He said that he condemns in no uncertain terms the unacceptable act of destruction of the statue of the Zugran of the Kusauk traditional area, Asigri Abugrago Azoka II, by some military personnel. He's demanding an immediate investigation by the senior hierarchy of the military. In the same vein, he's also condemning the brutality of the military yesterday, the 13th of July 2025. The violent gun attack by a known youth on the vehicle escorted by soldiers is equally condemned, and further attacks must cease. MP for Bawku, Mahama Ayariga there. Security consultant Richard Kumado has joined us on the telephone. Good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining us. Richard Kumado, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, your initial comments. What do you make of this? What's happening in Bawku? What happened on Sunday?
I'm not surprised.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised. Why are you not surprised?
It's a repeated occasion. These are occurrences that have happened in the past. The nature of the brutality from the side of the military or the actions taken by the military, the extent of the damage is what is new. But if you look at and the action taken by the military, I'm not surprised at all.
And the minister has also, spoken about this. He's condemning the act. That's right.
Say that one again. Condemning. No. What does it resolve? Did you hear condemning something resolve something? Unless we want to lie about it again and say we are doing something about it. Other than that, if you follow the tangential and the issues coming out of Boko and the solutions we have preferred in the past, and we are still doing as people who have well knowledge in this particular subject area, and what we put at the disposal of the security agencies and the hierarchy, and where we are now. The only thing new is the Shantihini mediation team that has come to the fore, and the call of the president to ensure that we should use that channel. Other than that, I'm not surprised at all of where we are now.
Mr. Komado, let's move away from Boko and come in here to Accra, Ablekuma North. Ablekuma North rerun violence. Let's talk about that. Political, vigilantism or political thuggery. Why does this keep happening? This looks like an ending cycle.
No, we have a law. We have a law of vigilantism. President Akufo-Addo passed a law of vigilantism. So when you mention vigilantism, it means that you have done an investigation and you've come to a conclusion that what happened at Ablekuma North has everything to do with vigilantism. And anytime the full facts are not made available to you, it's always important to be subjective and not definite. In that regard, let's say that there was an attack and people were fighting one another at Ablekuma North, and they created a problem for the elections that we had on Friday. The police are supposed to investigate as the letter indicated. So let the police investigate, and once they come up with the results, we will deal with it. Other than that, it is a known knowledge, and it is clear that our elections are becoming too violent, and the violent nature of these elections, one of which has been depicted on Friday at Ablekuma North. Predominantly, when it comes to elections, there are three things involved. You have the police who must perform their duty as law enforcement officers. You have politicians who own the election, who must discharge their responsibilities. Then you have we, the voters, together with the Electoral Commission, that we have some functions to undertake. It has always been the politicians in the middle of the circle who create problems. At Ablekuma North, it was the same politicians, and they created a lot of problems for the police. It is also a known knowledge that there are 5 time layers of every election, and the first 2 time layers, the police had a little bit shaky start, being that they did not properly rehearse the standard protocols for such elections. They also overlooked the red flags of some personalities that must not be allowed to get into certain locations. Then they also looked down the warning signs, which was glaring in their faces. But if you also remember, one of the accusations against the police that they failed in providing a protective cover for the Electoral Commission to collate results, and that is why Ablekuma North will have to be rerun in the first place. Having said that, once they realized they got the initial stages jittery and they fumble a little bit, they mobilized themselves, they reorganized, do what they are expected to do, and the results were collated. The election went on, and there was a declaration, and Ablekuma North has a parliamentary an MP elect as we speak now.
Did you agree with those who were saying that we must keep security forces out of politics? Is that going to change anything, keeping security forces out of politics?
Break it down. You keep them out of politics, how?
I mean, that's what some people are saying, that we must keep them out of politics.
I don't understand the language, keep them out of politics. It's like, they are not politicians in the first place, and they don't do politics.
So you think that is not necessary?
No, I'm saying that when the person says keep them out of politics, what do they mean? If I understand what they mean, I can explain it from first party's point of view. Is it the appointment of the IGP, or what are they talking about? What is it?
Mr. Kumado, do you think that we need to professionalize the security services and insulate them from partisan politics?
No, they don't do partisan politics. The police have never been involved in partisanship. The police have never gotten involved in partisanship. If we are talking about recruitment, then we can say politicians have bastardized the police institution. And today when you go there, you have political police, protocol police, and professional police. So that's understandable that they have bastardized the institution. The nature of training, the resources available to them have never been looked at. So we can agree on that one. But the police as a whole have never been involved in politics or partisanship. Individuals may do, which is their right, but they are professionals. And once you put them before the cameras, they are supposed to discharge. If they make mistakes, we take them on. But until then, they have never been involved in politics or partisanship. But then again, you are busy reviewing the Constitution. And if you listen carefully, the chairman of the Constitution Review Committee, our uncle Prempre, has spoken about abuse of authority, abuse of power by the executive. The question we need to ask ourselves from 1992 to where we are now, that what are the processes that lead to selecting the executive who manages the governance system of this country anyway? Is it not election? Or I'm lying? If it is election, then reasonably, or from common sense point of view, from 1992, it should be clear to somebody that some of the places we use as police stations are not right. And some of the places we use as coalition centers are not appropriate in terms of the structure, the physicality of the police, and the siting of the police. And everybody has, within the political circles, when it comes to elections, you are likely to see some of this chaos and the troubles that we have seen. A politician walks into a place, creates all manner of problems. Instead of this politician to be arrested, they respect him or her and allow them to go. They turn around, blame everybody and everything under the sun, except they themselves. And they have become the cause and the problem we have when it comes to some of these things we call election, that is creating problem for us. The police made a mistake and they underrated the warning signs. But predominantly, it was politicians who created this problem. So they should also take some level of responsibility.
Let's talk about the police. You mentioned the police. People are saying they're disappointed in the police turning into thugs and assaulting, media men and what?
No, that is not true. You are a journalist or you have been in the media space. It happens once in a while, but the police predominantly cannot be seen to be people who are beating journalists. The police and journalists, they all work together. They have worked together for all these years.
But we saw what happened.
Really,
Mr. Kumar, I'm sure that you saw that video.
Yeah, I don't know what really happened and he slapped a journalist, but you cannot say because one police slapped a journalist, it means the whole police is against the journalists in this country and they are slapping them. That is not true.
But do you think they did a good job? Do you think that the police did a good job on that day, on Friday?
No, probably you are not listening. I said there are 5 time layers of every election. The first 2 time layers, they have a jittery start and they have difficulties. The reason being that they did not rehearse the procedure properly. The second problem is that they overlook the risks of personalities who must not get into certain places. And thirdly, the warning signs which we picked that they were aware, they underrated those warning signs, and that created a problem for them. And I also said that because there are 5 time layers of every election, they got the first 2 time layers wrong because of the jittery start. But then again, they mobilized themselves, they came together, conducted the election, provided security cover, and election has been won and declared. So yes, we fought them for having a jittery beginning, but overall they did what is expected of them. Considering the fact that Electoral Commission accused them for not providing a security protective cover for them, and why is one of the reasons why we got Abdulrahman in the first place.
So they did what was expected of them. But condemning acts of violence, vote buying and intimidation has been a reaction to some of these incidents. Do you agree this has to be immediately investigated and people have to be held accountable? Because every time this happens, this is what happens. People condemn and that's it.
In every election, there are 3 things involved. The police, who are the leaders of the Election Security Task Force have duties to perform, which is a security cover. Number two, politicians who own elections have a responsibility to discharge. We, the voters, together with the Electoral Commission, we have functions to undertake. It has always been the case that the politicians create problems. In this particular election, it is the politicians who create the problem. And to every action, there's a reaction. So they created a problem for the police, and they came there purposely to distract the election and to create problem for the police. So until the politicians behave themselves, until they are dealt with, until they are investigated and something happens to politicians, many of these things you are saying will continue to be seen in our politics, because it is a non-knowledge that our politics has become a bit more violent within certain specific instances.
So you think that our political leaders are not prioritizing peace and democratic maturity? That's what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth. Say it the way I've said it. I'm saying that there are three things. The police, the Election Security Task Force will provide a security cover, which is a mandatory duty for them. The responsibility of politicians is to discharge their responsibilities. And what are their responsibilities? Follow the procedure. Put your party agents there. If you have nothing to do within the inner perimeter, don't get there. Don't go there with a weapon. Don't incite people. Don't create problems. Then we, the voters, together with the Electoral Commission, is to discharge or to undertake our functions. What are our functions? Make the voting process transparent and we come to vote. In all this, nobody has accused the police that the police prevented people from voting, or no voter has said that the police intimidated me. It was the responsibility of the people in the circle, the politicians who created the problem. Until politicians stop creating problems within our election cycle, you are likely to continue seeing many of these things that happen at Ablekuma North.
So until politicians stop creating problems. Your final words, Mr. Kumado, before we let you go.
I think we'll be going to Akwatia. IGP Yohono has seen what happened. His men were jittered at the beginning, and I think it's a learning curve for him. Akwatia will be the second one. All cameras will be on him and his men. Proper preparation will always prevent poor performances. And I think the politicians will have to obey the rules. The party people will have to obey the rules. The voters must be educated to discharge their voting rights in an atmosphere of peace and serenity. If the politicians come there to create problem again, you are likely to see what we see at Ablekuma North.
Richard Kumado, Security Consultant Richard Kumado there. Thank you very much for speaking with us on this very issue. Now, let me read to you what Kodeo is saying about this. The Coalition of Domestic Election Observers has expressed deep concern over the conduct of security personnel and the general state of law enforcement during the parliamentary rerun held on Friday, the 11th of July 2025 in the Ablekuma North constituency, warning that the situation poses a clear and present danger to Ghana's democracy. This follows a violent incident at the St. Peter's Society Methodist Church polling center, where police officers reportedly stood by as unidentified men stormed the venue and disrupted the voting process. Among these assaulted during the disruption were former Member of Parliament for Ewutu Senya East, Hawa Kumsin, and the MPP's parliamentary candidate for the constituency, Nana Equia FVA. Jonathan Asante-Okyere is a political analyst. He's joining us on the telephone to speak about this. Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere, good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon.
I believe you're doing very well, Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere. I almost missed out the doctor.
Well, I'm a bit down because my mother's.
I'm so sorry. We're so sorry about that. We'll speak to you after the show. We're so sorry.
Thank you. All right.
Yes, Doc, let's talk about Ablekuma North Rerun violence. What do you make of what happened?
Well, I think this part is becoming a sort of culture in our politics. It is more to be desired. It should be condemned in no certain terms. The substantive elections have already been won by the NDC. In as much as the stakes were quite high with respect to it being a by-election that will make the NDC have outright two-thirds majority. And of course, the NDC has already been, the NPP has been operating with 88 members of parliament. That 89 wouldn't do anything for them. But the point is that there's always what we call the bragging right. The NDC will want to send a message to the NPP that they have the goodwill of the people. And as long as they are managing the economy well, you can talk about inflation 13.3%. You can talk about the cedi's appreciation, vis-a-vis the major currencies, i.e. the dollar, the pound, the euro, and so on and so forth. Definitely the people, the NDC government has the goodwill of the people. And as rational human beings, there was no way the NPP was going to win, especially with even an expanded, polling stations. And so what I felt the NDC government did not do was to manage the security, because some of us, predicted that they were going to win. So if that is the case, then the NPP will be there to foment trouble because they know they are going to lose. So that is a failure on the part of the security, architecture and then the operation that went there. So as for me, there is no way you can compromise violence in any way. This is just a decision. It's a democratic decision. Let the people express their right and so on and so forth. That apart, you have to look at this situation as something that the Electoral Commission, the current inefficient Electoral Commission, created and brought upon itself. If you studied what happened in 2024 elections, there was deliberate delayed collation. That is what created all these problems. And Ablekuma North is not an exception. There were other places. It is just that it took the vigilance of others to ensure that the right things were done. Other than that, we could have witnessed something else. And so it is all part of this Electoral Commission architecture and their own operations. I believe that they don't have any business being there. Apart from that, this ought not to have happened. The police will have to ensure they investigate. All perpetrators must be brought to book. It cannot always be business as usual. The current president has demanded from the IGP to investigate those who died in 2020, those who were killed in 2024. We cannot allow another Ayawaso West Wagon to be on our hands. As a fledgling democracy and a growing one, we must be seen to making progress. This idea of always visiting mayhem and allowing people to cause, all these kinds of unfortunate happenings, I think it doesn't augur well for our democracy. And all those involved must be brought to book.
All those involved must be brought to book. People feel that, Itiwa might witness what happened in Ablekuma North. So what do you think about this?
Well, I cannot say it can't happen, but I believe that the NDC has nothing to lose there as party in government. But you see, if the opposition think that that is their seat, and for which reason they want to use all manner of things, that is where the problems will come from. But you see, what the NDC will be looking out for with respect to Akutia, maybe one time get closer, we'll see how the analysis will be like. What the NDC government will be looking out for is that it could be a data that could be used to plan other elections in the two main, regions that have always been the mainstay of the MPP, that is the Eastern and then Ashanti region. If it were to be the Ashanti region, I'm very sure that they would have taken it much more seriously than Eastern region, because they still want to get that outright bragging right and what we call the goodwill of the people of Ashanti region. If that happens, MPP would struggle to win elections in this country, because if they are to do right by the people, and as it's happening now, maybe in the area of road, the government is yet to do a lot more because, they inherited bad roads from the previous government. So if those things are really done with other things that the president and the vice president are doing and other ministers and then, other agents are doing, then it means that they're going to keep the goodwill. They will have to reduce. Of course, we are not hearing scandals here and there. So what the NDC will be looking out for in Akutia is to have an increase in terms of percentage or in terms of numbers that voted for them in 2024. They will want to see that, in terms of the by-election, what the numbers will be like. And if it increases and the MPP's numbers decrease, then it means that the MPP, they don't seem to be well organized. It will be a testament to bad leadership that we are seeing in the MPP, as attested by the former president, Mr. Kufuor. There is this kind of, crack, divisiveness within the party. So that lack of organization could also affect them, apart from the fact that the NDC will have the goodwill of the people. That lack of organization on the part of the MPP could also affect them. But as to whether they'll be able to lose Akatia, especially when the parliamentarian was alive and died, there's this sympathy vote. I don't see that happening for now, but maybe let's see how events unfold.
Let's also talk about the police. Do you think the police did a good job on the day?
You see, there is always a source, what we call a theological source to some of these things. And this is just a symptom of the cause. The main cause is the process of recruitment. Probably we may have to have a rethink as to how these people who call Ghanaians get recruited into the police service and to other services as well, including the armed forces. But you see, if we do not ensure that we decide to train people or select people who should be trained for electoral purposes, who are police officers and be trained for electoral purposes, I think that we may be witnessing some of these things, and they may escalate outside our control. And that in itself could be a starting point of something that all of us, wouldn't have wished for. And so the police, the IGP will have to have a relook. They maybe have to use a different, approach, different, operational stuff with respect to electoral security, because it is very difficult when you have a situation where people seek safe haven in the fact that they belong to this or belong to that. And then, like for example, people who have done wrong and the current government is taking them through the process of investigation, inquiries, and then and so on and so forth. Then you see the opposition and all those people coming onto the street, causing confusion, demonstration here and there. All these things are lawlessness. They are symptoms of lawlessness. Because if somebody is going through the legal process, that is what it is. At the end of the day, your presence or absence will not determine the person's guilt or innocence. As long as the law is being followed, that is what it is. And so, in the same vein, we don't need to have a situation where you have a docile police that, because of who recruited him or her, that is where he or she feels the allegiance should lie. Your allegiance is to the state and the state security. If the state, degenerates into chaos, you as a policeman, you have family, you have extended family, all of them will not be safe. So at any point in time, let us do right by the state and ensure that we are freely and fairly, conducting ourselves with respect to the laws of the nation and what guides policing. So if all these things are filled over the period, we have seen Ayawa Sowas, we've seen Triponi, Talensi, we have seen Akotia in the past, we have seen 2020, Ayawa Sowas, we've seen 2024. So probably the way forward is for government to institute a commission of inquiry, another commission of inquiry, so that we can do a thorough investigation for all and let people come out, witnesses come out and speak, so that we can have a dossier and then see the way forward. I think the LIs and then whatever we have enacted in the past, they've not been working because the political will is not there, you see. And I don't want to think that some people will be sitting somewhere and be saying that, oh, this person deserves what has befallen him or her. No. I think that as a thinking and a growing democracy, there are certain things that we need to nip in the bud. Some time ago, I used to tell the MPP, the NDC was in government under Mr. Mahama. The MPP won. Then you saw what happened. And I was telling the MPP that not long ago, you were in opposition. So remember that the only thing permanent, they say, is change. And here we are. They are now in opposition. The same advice should be given to the NDC. Once they do right by the people, obviously the people will give them mandate upon another mandate. And as it stands now, I can tell the MPP that barring all unforeseen circumstances, if we are to go for another election to the general elections, they will lose. So they may have to get their act together. And I also believe that those in government will not also be complacent. You see, so at the end of the day, we want proper policing. The recruitment process must be very professional. It should not be at the whims and caprice of some individual politicians here and there. Because if we do so, we are the same people who will be complaining about the non-professionalism, demonstration of the police.
Right. Doc, my very final question to you. Do you think our political leaders are not prioritizing peace and democratic maturity?
Well, that would be too harsh. You see, sometimes you can never determine the construction of the mind on the face. I'm not too sure they felt that sometimes that's what was going to happen. But if they are in any way thinking or taking for granted the peace that we are enjoying, then I think that it leaves more to be desired. Until or unless this by-election, nor the rerun of this election, I mean, we have not had a cause, right, to have skirmishes of this nature. People were beaten in the previous government, including MPs and other things. And all these people are not seeking redress, or they are not seeking some kind of justice or vengeance in any way. So it means that people have really matured, they have grown out of this. But this probably is just a flash in the pan. But we need to condemn that, and it should not be part of our subculture in terms of our democracy.
Dr. Jonathan Asante Otri, political analyst, thank you very much for taking time. And that's how we wrap up Good Afternoon Ghana. Today we have been looking at the Ablekuma North River violence. We also took you to Boko, where some unknown assailants attacked some men, a vehicle with some men on Sunday. And also, Muntaka Mubarak, the Interior Minister, spoke at the maiden edition of the Accountability Series. Tomorrow, Business Edge is on. This is Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Ifwa Ando. Have a good afternoon.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing